Ethan never wanted trouble. He only wanted food. That was all. A quiet meal, maybe a drink, and some time to rest after walking for hours under the alien sun. But trouble always had a way of finding him. And today, trouble came with claws, fangs, and glowing yellow eyes. The alien marketplace was loud, full of strange smells and even stranger people. Tall blue merchants shouted prices. Small green creatures ran between legs, carrying baskets. Strange music played in the background. And in the middle of it all walked Ethan, just a tired human with messy hair and an empty stomach. He stopped at a fruit stall. The fruits were huge, round, and glowing faintly like lanterns. Ethan reached out to touch one. Before his hand could grab it, a giant shadow fell over him. A voice, deep and growling, cut through the noise. "What are you doing with my fruit, little human?" Ethan turned around slowly. And there she was. The Beastwoman. She was huge, easily 7 feet tall. Her shoulders were broad, her arms strong, her skin covered in faint stripes like a predator's. Her hair was long, wild, and dark, falling past her shoulders. Her fangs flashed when she spoke, and her yellow eyes burned with fire. Ethan blinked, his voice shaking. "You, just looking. I wasn't stealing, I promise." The Beastwoman stepped closer. The crowd went silent. Every alien nearby froze, watching. The air grew tense, as if everyone knew something big was about to happen. The Beastwoman sniffed the air, then grinned. "You dare touch my fruit without offering respect? Bold little human." Ethan raised his hands. "Hey, relax. I didn't mean anything. I'll just walk away, okay?" But she didn't let him walk away. Instead, she grabbed his wrist. Her hand was enormous compared to his, her claws pressing lightly against his skin. Then, with a sudden move, she dragged one sharp claw across his arm, not enough to cut deep, but enough to leave a glowing mark. The crowd gasped. Dozens of voices whispered at once. She marked him. He is hers now. The human is taken. Ethan's eyes went wide. He looked down at his arm. The mark was glowing, golden and strange, shaped like a claw print. It shimmered with heat, burning just a little. What did you do to me?" he shouted. The Beastwoman's grin widened. Her sharp teeth gleamed. "I claimed you," she said proudly. "Now everyone knows you are mine." The marketplace exploded with noise. Aliens clapped, cheered, and laughed. Merchants called out, "Congratulations, Beastwoman Karina." "Congratulations, human mate." Ethan's mouth dropped open. "Mate? No. Wait a second. I am not her mate. There's been a mistake." But no one listened. They were too busy celebrating. A small alien child tugged his pants, smiling up at him. "Don't worry, human. She is strong. You will be safe now." "Safe?" Ethan groaned. "I don't even know her." The Beastwoman Karina pulled him closer, placing her massive arm around his shoulders like he was nothing more than a pet. "Do not be shy, little human," she teased. "You should be honored. Karina does not claim weaklings." Ethan tried to wriggle free. "Claim? I'm not property. Look, I just wanted a fruit. That's all." But the crowd only laughed harder. Some aliens bowed as Karina walked by with Ethan under her arm. Others gave them free food, shouting, "Blessings." A merchant pressed a basket of glowing fruit into Ethan's hands. "For the honored mate." Ethan muttered under his breath, "Oh, great, free fruit. Totally worth losing my freedom." Karina looked down at him, amused. "You complain too much. Do humans not celebrate when chosen?" "Chosen?" Ethan shouted. "Back home, people ask before claiming someone." She tilted her head, confused. "Ask? That is weak. A true mate is claimed with strength." She pounded her chest with a fist, making the crowd cheer again. Ethan wanted to disappear into the ground. His face was red, his heart racing. Every step he took, more aliens clapped his back, smiling, whispering, "The human is lucky. She will protect him. He belongs to Karina now." Finally, Ethan couldn't take it anymore. He pushed away from Karina, raising his hands high. "Listen to me. I am not her mate. I don't belong to anyone. This is all a big misunderstanding." For a moment, the crowd went silent. Dozens of alien eyes stared at him. Then, all at once, the silence broke into loud laughter. They thought he was joking. Some clapped harder. Others shouted things like, "He is shy, and he pretends, but he loves her." Ethan's shoulders dropped. He was doomed. Karina leaned down, her breath hot against his ear. "You can fight, you can scream, you can deny it," she whispered with a smirk. "But it does not matter. The whole planet believes you are mine now." Ethan groaned, staring at the glowing mark on his arm. "Oh no," he muttered. "I am so doomed." The crowd cheered even louder, lifting their hands and chanting, "The human is taken. The human is taken." Ethan thought maybe, just maybe, the whole thing would blow over by morning. Surely, people would forget. Surely, someone would realize it was a mistake. He was wrong. The next day, the entire city already knew as Ethan walked. Down the stone streets, hundreds of alien eyes turned to him. Tall guards saluted him. Old merchants bowed. Children ran beside him, chanting, "Karina's mate, Karina's mate." Ethan dragged his feet, his face burning red. This can't be real. It's like I'm trapped in some mad space sitcom. He tried to buy bread at a stall, but the shopkeeper shook his head and pushed it into Ethan's hands for free. "For Karina's mate, no charge." Ethan groaned. "Stop saying that. I'm not her mate." But the shopkeeper only winked. So humble, good husband material. Ethan wanted to scream. Karina arrived soon after, towering over the crowd. Wherever she walked, people cleared the path. She spotted Ethan holding free bread and smirked. "See, already the city honors." "You?" "I didn't ask for this honor," Ethan muttered, shoving the bread into her chest. "Here, you eat it." Karina ripped it in half with her sharp teeth and grinned proudly. "Your gift pleases me, human." Ethan slapped his forehead. That wasn't a gift. That was never mind. The crowd laughed. Some clapped. A tall alien male shouted, "Strong Karina, lucky human. He will give you many children." Ethan nearly choked. "Children? Whoa, let's slow down." Karina tilted her head curiously. "Do humans not breed when claimed?" Ethan's face turned scarlet. "No, well, yes, but it's complicated. We don't do it because someone scratches us in public." The aliens around them roared with laughter, thinking Ethan's panic was just shyness. By afternoon, the news had spread. Beyond the city, flags with Karina's clan symbol were hung on walls. Street musicians played love songs about the legendary Beastwoman and her tiny human mate. Ethan wanted to melt into the ground. "This is insane," he whispered. "Completely insane." He tried to run away, sneaking down a side alley. But 2 armored guards blocked him. "Mate of Karina, where are you going?" One asked. "You? Shopping?" Ethan lied. "You should not walk alone," the other said. "Karina's mate must be protected." Before Ethan could argue, they marched him back into the main street. The crowd cheered louder when they saw him again. Ethan clenched his teeth. This is worse than being famous. At least celebrities don't get claimed by giant wolf women. That evening, Karina dragged Ethan to the central square. A huge crowd had gathered. Drums pounded, fires burned. Aliens shouted his name. "What's happening now?" Ethan asked nervously. Karina's fangs glinted. A feast to celebrate us. Celebrate us? Ethan nearly fainted. We're not no. This is a nightmare. Karina ignored his protests. She pulled him up onto a platform, standing tall. The crowd roared as she raised Ethan's arm in the air like a champion fighter. Look at him. Karina shouted proudly. This human may be small, but he is mine. And anyone who challenges will taste my claws. The crowd went wild. Alien horns blasted. Banners waved. Food and drink spilled as they celebrated. Ethan tried to pull his arm free. Stop saying that. I'm not your, but his words were drowned out by the cheers. The human is taken. The human is taken. In the middle of the noise, Ethan spotted a group of tall alien males glaring at him. They looked angry, their tusks sharp, their muscles huge. One of them stepped forward, pointing a clawed finger at Ethan. Karina, this is a lie. That weak human cannot be your mate. He is too small, too fragile. He cannot protect you. The crowd gasped. Karina snarled, stepping in front of Ethan. Her claws flexed, her muscles tense. You dare insult my choice? The alien male growled. Back. If he is truly your mate, let him prove it in the arena of proving. The crowd roared in agreement. Yes, the arena. The arena. Ethan's blood turned to ice. Wait, arena? What arena? What proving? Karina smirked at him. Do not worry, little human. Just fight well, and they will accept you. Fight. Ethan's voice cracked. I don't fight. I'm allergic to fighting. The rival male grinned with sharp teeth. Then you will die quickly, human. The drums boomed louder, echoing through the city. The crowd began chanting, shaking the air with their voices. Arena, arena, arena. Ethan's knees nearly gave out. He looked at Karina in horror. This is insane. I didn't sign up for this. But the crowd didn't care. A challenge was made, and the arena of proving awaited. Asterisk, asterisk. The arena was not a place for humans. Ethan realized that the moment he stepped inside, the floor was made of black stone, cracked from years of battles. The walls rose high, filled with thousands of aliens cheering, stamping their feet, and roaring with excitement. Huge fire torches lit the arena, their flames snapping in the wind, and in the very center stood Ethan, a human with no armor, no weapon, just a nervous smile. He raised his hands weakly. Hi. Is this where we talk things? Out instead of fight? The crowd laughed, a thunderous sound that shook the stone. They didn't want peace. They wanted blood. Karina, towering beside him, leaned down. Her claws tapped against his shoulder. Do not fear. I will fight for you. Ethan's eyes widened. What? No. If you fight, they'll think I'm weak. You said this is to prove me, right? Karina smirked. Yes, you must prove you are worthy. Ethan gulped. Oh, great. I'm doomed. Totally doomed. A huge gate opened. Out stepped his challenger, the alien male from before. Twice Ethan's size, muscles bulging, tusks gleaming, his claws scratching sparks off the stone. He carried a giant axe, its blade taller than Ethan. The crowd roared louder. Rip the human apart. Someone shouted, Show Karina his weakness. Another screamed. Ethan raised his hand nervously. Excuse me. Can we maybe use, I don't know, smaller weapons? Like spoons? I'm really good with spoons. Nobody laughed. The tusked warrior stomped closer. His voice boomed. You are nothing, human. You are soft, weak, a joke. Ethan swallowed hard. You forgot handsome. Don't forget handsome. The crowd laughed this time, though Ethan wasn't sure if it was at his joke or at his impending death. The drums began to pound. Boom, boom, boom. The fight had begun. The tusked warrior charged, axe raised high. Ethan screamed and ran not toward his enemy, but away, sprinting in circles around the arena. The crowd roared with laughter. He runs. The human flees. Look how fast his little legs are. Ethan shouted as he ran. This is called strategy? Ever heard of cardio? The tusked warrior chased him, but Ethan was quicker. Years of running from trouble on alien worlds had at least given him good legs. Catch him! The crowd screamed. Ethan ducked under a swing of the axe. The blade smashed into the stone floor, sending sparks flying. Ethan yelped, leaping back. Hey, watch it. You could hurt somebody. Karina leaned on the wall, watching with a grin. He is fast, very fast. Interesting. For several minutes, the fight looked more like a comedy show than a battle. Ethan dodged, tripped, rolled, and even threw sand in the warrior's face. The crowd laughed, some even cheering. Look, the human tricks him. He fights like a coward, but it is funny. But Ethan was getting tired. His chest burned, his legs wobbled. He couldn't keep running forever. Then he spotted something. The tusked warrior's axe was stuck in the stone after a missed swing. The alien tugged at it, growling. Ethan's eyes lit up. He rushed forward, grabbed a loose rope lying on the ground, probably from an earlier match, and wrapped it around the warrior's legs. Before the alien could react, Ethan yanked hard and tripped him. The warrior crashed onto the floor with a thunderous boom. The crowd gasped. Silence filled the arena for a moment. Then cheers erupted. The human dropped him. He fights clever. He fights like a trickster. Karina's eyes glowed with pride. Ethan, panting heavily, stood on top of the fallen warrior and raised his hands. I didn't kill him, but hey, he's down, right? That counts? The crowd roared with approval. The tusked warrior groaned, unable to stand quickly. The arena master lifted a horn and blew it. The fight was over. Ethan had won. Karina leaped into the arena, scooping him up in her arms like a trophy. She held him high for all to see. See? She shouted. He is small, but clever. He is mine, and he is worthy. The crowd exploded with cheers. Banners waved. Aliens shouted Ethan's name. Ethan hung limply in her arms, too tired to argue. Yeah, great, perfect. I'm a champion. Someone please get me water before I die. Karina grinned, her sharp teeth gleaming. She whispered into his ear. You see? They accept you now. No one can question it. Ethan groaned. Wonderful. I wanted lunch. Now I'm a folk hero. But as the cheers filled the night sky, Ethan noticed something strange. A group of cloaked figures stood in the shadows, watching him closely. Their eyes glowed faintly under their hoods. They didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They just stared. Ethan shivered. Something told him this wasn't over. The feast after the arena lasted all night. Aliens sang, drums pounded, and Karina crushed barrels of drink like they were tiny juice boxes. Ethan sat slumped in a chair, surrounded by food he couldn't pronounce. He poked at something that looked like glowing jelly. It hissed. He pushed it away. Eat, Karina ordered, slapping a plate in front of him. It still has eyes, Ethan muttered. Good. That means it's fresh, Ethan groaned. Why couldn't I get claimed by a chef instead of a Beastwoman? The aliens nearby roared with laughter. They clinked mugs together, chanting, clever. Human, clever human. Ethan forced a weak smile, but his eyes kept drifting to the edge of the square. Those cloaked figures were still there standing in the shadows, unmoving, watching him. He leaned toward Karina. Hey, quick question. Do you see the spooky hooded creeps staring at us? Or am I hallucinating from alien food poisoning? Karina glanced over her shoulder. Her smile faded. Her ears twitched. "They are not of my clan," she said slowly. "They should not be here." Ethan's skin crawled. "Well, they are here. And they're staring at me like I'm a vending machine that owes them snacks." Later that night, after the feast ended, Ethan tried sneaking away to find answers. He didn't get far. Karina caught him by the collar and dragged him back. "Where are you going, little mate?" she growled. "Bed," Ethan lied. "Definitely bed. Not wandering into the scary alley where mysterious figures are waiting to kidnap me. No, not at all." Karina narrowed her glowing eyes. "Stay close. Something feels wrong tonight." They walked together through the quiet streets, but as they turned a corner, shadows moved. Figures stepped out, cloaks swaying, faces hidden. The leader spoke in a low, rumbling voice. "You carry the mark." Ethan froze. You mean this? The big red scratch on my arm? That wasn't my idea. I didn't ask for the marked by Beastwoman deluxe package, okay?" The figure shook his head. "Foolish human. That is no simple mark. It is the sign of claim, the ancient bond of strength and blood." Ethan blinked. ... And what does that mean in plain English?" The figure raised a claw. "It means you are no longer just hers. The mark ties you to power. Old power. Dangerous power." Karina stepped forward, snarling. "Silence. He is mine. You will not touch him." The cloaked figure chuckled. "We do not wish to steal him. Not yet. We wish to see if he survives what is coming." Ethan raised both hands. "Okay, time out. Survives what? Why does everyone keep adding more problems to my life? First I'm free bread guy, then I'm Beastwoman's mate, then I'm in an arena fight. Now apparently I'm some kind of magical tattoo carrier." Before anyone could answer, a howl echoed across the city. A terrible, sharp howl that made the torches flicker. The cloaked figures looked at one another. Their leader hissed, "It begins." Karina tensed. Her claws slid out. Her ears twitched. "They come. Who comes?" Ethan yelped, spinning around in panic. "The pizza delivery guy? Please let it be pizza." But it wasn't pizza. Dark shapes appeared on the rooftop screechers with glowing red eyes, hunched bodies, and long claws that dripped with black ooze. They hissed and leapt, landing in the street with bone-cracking THUDS. The crowd of aliens screamed. Chaos broke out. Karina shoved Ethan behind her. "Stay close," she roared. The cloaked figures drew curved blades, their eyes shining in the dark. The leader pointed at Ethan. "Protect the mark. The mark must live." Ethan nearly fainted. "Protect Emmy? Excuse me, I'm not a sacred object. I'm just a guy who wanted lunch." The creatures charged. Karina slashed one in half with her claws, roaring like thunder. The cloaked warriors fought beside her, blades flashing. Ethan, meanwhile, crouched low, clutching a broken stick he found on the ground. "Great, everyone else gets magic swords and claws. I get a stick." One of the black creatures lunged at him. Ethan panicked and smacked it with the stick. To his shock, the creature screamed and exploded into smoke. Ethan froze. ... Wait. What? Did I just kill that thing with a stick? Karina looked back at him, eyes wide. "The mark," she whispered. The cloaked leader hissed in awe. "Yes, the mark awakens." Ethan stared at the stick in his hand. "Oh no, nope, don't do this to me. I'm not chosen. I'm not special. I'm just a guy who didn't want to get claimed by a giant wolf lady." But deep down, he knew the truth. The mark wasn't just a joke. Asterisk. The street smelled of smoke and blood. The last black creature hissed before Karina ripped it apart with her claws. Silence fell, broken only by the crackling of torches. Ethan stood in the middle of the chaos, clutching his broken stick like it was Excalibur. His arms shook, his knees wobbled. He whispered, almost to himself, I killed that thing. With a stick. A stick. Karina's glowing eyes locked on him. Not the stick, the mark. Ethan stared at his arm, with a Beastwoman's. Scarred claim mark, burned faintly with light. Oh, great. Now my arm is a glow stick. Fantastic. The cloaked leader stepped closer, his voice calm and heavy. You carry the ancient power, long forgotten, long feared. The mark is awake. Ethan waved his arms wildly. Stop. Don't give me that chosen one talk. I'm not some hero. I'm just me. But even as he said it, the crowd of aliens who had gathered whispered his name like a chant. Human, human, human. Ethan groaned. Oh no. They're doing the chanting thing. Nothing good ever comes after chanting. The next morning, Ethan sat cross-legged inside Karina's den, staring at a pot of alien soup. The cloaked figures had followed them inside, claiming he needed training. Training. Ethan hated the word already. The cloaked leader, now unhooded, revealed sharp horns and glowing amber eyes. He introduced himself as Varlock, keeper of the old ways. Varlock placed a heavy stone in front of Ethan. Focus the mark. Release. Its strength. Ethan raised a brow. Release its strength? Buddy, I can barely release a burp after eating your glowing jelly food. How am I supposed to release strength? Karina folded her arms, watching with a proud grin. Do as he says, little mate. Show him what you did last night. Ethan sighed, placed his hand on the rock, and squeezed his eyes shut. Okay, Mark. Do your thing. Rock. Prepare to be whatever. Nothing happened. He peeked one eye open. See? Nothing. Just me and a rock having a staring contest. The crowd groaned. Karina rolled her eyes. Pathetic. Varlock hissed. Again. Ethan groaned, but tried again. He pressed his hand on the rock, whispered random heroic lines, and even shouted, Power on! Like a bad cartoon character. Then dash crack. The stone split in half. Ethan jumped back. Okay. Did you see that? The rock just gave up and died. I didn't even try that hard. Karina smirked. The mark grows. Ethan pointed at himself. No, I don't grow. I panic. There's a difference. Training continued through the day. Ethan accidentally shattered more rocks, burned holes into the ground, and once sneezed so hard that a nearby tree caught fire. Aliens whispered in awe. Some bowed. Some laughed. Karina looked at him with a strange pride, though she hid it behind. Insults, clumsy, weak legs, but clever hands. Ethan held up his glowing arm. Yeah, well, these clever hands are going to get me killed if this thing doesn't come with an off switch. That night, as he tried to sleep, Karina sat nearby sharpening her claws. The firelight flickered across her fur. Why me? Ethan muttered. Why couldn't this mark pick someone strong? Someone who knows what they're doing? Not. Karina's golden eyes softened. For once, her voice wasn't sharp. Because strength alone is not enough. You tricked the tusked warrior in the arena. You destroyed the shadow beast with only fear and instinct. The mark chose well. Ethan stared at her, speechless. Then he groaned. Ooh, don't say nice things. Makes it harder to complain. Rita chuckled, a low rumble that almost sounded like purring. But their quiet moment was broken. Outside, horns blared. The ground shook. Shouts echoed across the village. Ethan bolted upright. Oh no, that's never the sound of good news. A warrior rushed inside, covered in dust. Karina, they come. The devourers come. Karina's claws snapped out. Her ears twitched. Prepare the defenses. Ethan blinked. Wait. Back up. Who are the devourers? Please tell me they're just annoying door-to-door salesmen. The warrior shook his head, fear in his eyes. No, they are worse. They consume worlds. Ethan's stomach dropped. He looked at his glowing arm. Oh no. Don't tell me. This is my problem now, isn't it? Karina smirked, already grabbing her weapons. Yes. Little mate, now we see what your mark is truly for. Asterisk, the ground shook like thunder. Dust fell from the walls of Karina's den. Outside, the horns kept blaring, sharp and desperate. Ethan stumbled out with Karina gripping his arm. Tell me again, he said breathlessly. What's a devourer? Just so I can fully panic with accurate information. The warrior leading. Them looked pale, even under his green scales. They are shadows that eat life. They come from the void. Once they land, nothing grows again. Ethan blinked. Okay, so they're like galactic termites. That's fine. Totally fine. We'll just call pest control. Karina snarled, her claws shining. This is no joke. Stay behind me. The sky tore open. A black rift split the air above the village. From it poured monstrous shapes, huge, crawling, winged horrors with teeth like jagged blades. There, screeches rattled the ground. The villagers screamed. Some ran. Some raised weapons. Ethan stared upward, frozen. Nope, no. Too big, too ugly. I officially quit being alive. But then the mark burned hot against his skin. His arm glowed bright red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Karina grabbed him by the shoulders. The mark reacts. It knows the enemy. Ethan shook his head wildly. Nope. Don't look at me like I'm a superhero. I'm not chosen. I'm not special. I'm just a guy who wanted lunch 2 days ago. Varlock, the cloaked leader, appeared beside them. His blade gleamed. The mark is not a gift. It is a weapon. And only the mark-bearer can use it. Ethan gulped. Why does the universe hate me specifically? The first wave of devourers hit the village. They smashed huts, crushed carts, and roared as they tore into the streets. Warriors charged. Karina leapt into the fray, ripping and clawing like a storm of fur and fury. Ethan crouched low, clutching a spear someone shoved into his hands. His legs shook. A devourer spotted him. It lunged out. Ethan screamed and swung the spear wildly. The tip barely scratched the monster's hide, yet the mark flared. The scratch exploded into fire. The beast howled and dissolved into ash. Ethan blinked, stunned. I did that? I did that. Guys, I'm terrifying with bad aim. Karina laughed even as she fought. See, little mate? The mark is strength, but the devourers kept coming. For every one they killed, 2 more crawled from the rift. Their shadows spread like poison, turning the ground black. Ethan panted, his arm burning hotter. He dropped the spear and raised both hands. Okay, Mark, buddy, if you're in there, now's the time to do something epic. The mark answered. A red wave blasted from his hand, cutting through the swarm. Dozens of devourers shrieked and vanished. The villagers froze, stunned. For a moment, silence. Then cheers erupted. Human, 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 Ethan groaned. Oh, no, not the chanting again. You people are gonna give me stage fright. But the rift above grew wider. From it descended something far bigger, a colossal devourer, its wings stretching across the sky, its mouth filled with endless rows of teeth. Its roar shook the mountains. Karina hissed. A devourer king. Ethan's jaw dropped. That thing has more teeth than my entire dentist's career could handle. Nope, I'm dead. We're all dead. Varlock pointed at Ethan. Only the mark can close the rift, Ethan shouted back. How? You guys didn't exactly give me an instruction manual. Karina grabbed his face and forced him to look at her. Her golden eyes blazed. Stop doubting. The mark chose you. Trust. Trust yourself. Ethan's heart pounded. His arm blazed with fire and light. He took a shaky breath. Okay. Here goes nothing. Or maybe everything. The Devourer King swooped down. Karina leapt, tearing at its wing. Warriors threw spears. Varlock slashed at its legs. But the beast was too big, too strong. Ethan ran forward, every part of him screaming to run the G. Other way. He lifted his glowing arm toward the rift. Close! Close! He shouted. The mark flared like a star. Red light burst upward, slamming into the rift. The sky shook. The devourers howled, thrashing as the light pulled them back into the void. The king roared and lunged at Ethan at the last second. Karina tackled Ethan to the ground. The mark released one final burst and explosion that shook the world. The light faded. The rift was gone. The devourers were gone. Only smoke remained. The village erupted in cheers. Warriors lifted weapons. Aliens clapped Ethan on the back. Ethan lay flat on the ground, panting. I hate everything about this. Karina crouched beside him, smirking. But you live. And you saved us. Ethan groaned. Yeah, great. Now everyone thinks I'm their hero. Just what I wanted. Galactic responsibility. Karina leaned closer, her golden eyes gleaming. You are mine, little mate. And now, you are theirs too. Ethan threw his hands up. Fantastic. I came. Here for lunch, and I left with a giant wolf wife, a glowing arm, and a whole planet's expectations. This is the worst vacation ever. The villagers laughed. Karina laughed too, her deep growl echoing and though Ethan complained, deep. Inside he knew one thing. The mark had chosen him. Asterisk.